At Hawk Knob, we're really trying to share an experience that we get to enjoy every day. I've been involved in making barrel-aged ciders now for 27 years, but that's really just a piece of what we're trying to offer. Living out here in a more traditional mountain lifestyle, we raise families together, raise a lot of food, make a lot of good food, and we pick a lot of tunes, raise a fair amount of cane while we're doing it. And if we can manage to share a little piece of that, then perhaps having a bottle of Hawk Knob is more than having just a glass of cider. But you don't have to take it from me. You can hear it from the horse's mouth and from some of the folks around our community.
I've been drinking Hawk Knob since the day they opened their door. You know, it's a local product. The creative geniuses, or the creative genius behind creative products, it's traditional, but yet expanding the market to let people taste what Appalachia is really about. You really reap the benefits of drinking local.
In the beginning, when we met Josh, right when he was launching Hawk Knob, came rambling into and was sharing his idea and what was going to be happening. And at Hawk Knob, they do a great job promoting locally. It is local. Ingredients are sourced locally.
I think the thing that I love the most about Hawk Knob is how much the ciders and the sizer really define to me what this area means. It's such an amazing product because it's so unique and so different from everything else.
With Hawk Knob, they source everything locally. They use barrels from Smooth Ambler. It's a great traditional cider as far as their basic Appalachian classic, but you know, when you start barrel aging it, you start pushing the envelope a little bit and great things are created.
I am a big fan of Hawk Knob. Locally made by friends, very dry, which I like. Flavor profile is fantastic. Drinking some of the other ciders that I've had over the years, like the first flavor profile that hits your tongue is sweet. It's not like crispness, it's just sweet. So it kind of hides the flavor of the apples. And Hawk Knob, the way that they brew theirs, definitely makes it so you taste apple first. It's very refreshing going down.
When people try Hawk Knob for the first time, they're just rolled over in their palate with dozens of different flavor profiles that come out in a way in which you just don't get with other ciders that are not made in that traditional method. You know, and this is something that's the real deal. This is what people in this area have been drinking for hundreds of years, and it's done in a way in which that you just can't get anywhere else in the world. It's truly is a master craft.
When people coming in from out of town to West Virginia, to the Greenbrier Sporting Club, they'd love to be able to take a bit of West Virginia home with them, to really go back and share West Virginia with their friends who have never been here, because it is almost heaven, and they enjoy having a great product to showcase the true craftsmen that we have here. It's more like a fine wine rather than one of the traditional sweet ciders that they expect. My favorite is probably that wild fermented. Our biggest seller here is the elderberry, but we also love just that traditional hard cider.
We send a lot of customers to the events at Hawk Knob, and we always get a really good feedback. That to me is really important when a business really puts themselves out there, provides a really good entertainment space. We've watched him grow, and we've been really happy to be one of his long-term supporters and keeping it on our shelves.
A lot of them go out there for events. I know quite a few have gone out there for dinners. They really enjoy just staying in the local community where the kids can have a good time while the adults are enjoying some nice beverages and just enjoying in the good company, because that's what it really all is about. It's really all about the community and the people you're with, just getting to meet the people who actually make the product that they're drinking. And it's nice being able to put a name with a face instead of just a brand.
Hawk Knob has put on some amazing dinners where they were playing traditional music and had these amazing traditional woodland foods, making apple butter and children running all around. They really displayed how heavily entrenched they've become in our community of all ages and bringing people together. It was such an experience in listening to history and tasting it. They're all really unique in flavor and they work very differently. We use them a lot with our foods here at Swift Level and with our functions at the farm.
So the thing that I appreciated about Hawk Knob once I started to get introduced to them is that it would lend itself well to other uses, not just for drinking. You truly can appreciate different qualities in the cider itself, and they're kind of like a craft wine. I really don't drink very many other ciders anymore because I like Hawk Knob so much.
I cook with it, yeah. I make this really good braised pork tenderloin and make an apple and golden raisin chutney to go with it, and it's really tasty. It's really good.
So I cook with Hawk Knob mostly with the elderberry. I have used the classic with making slow cooked pork, but I really have been using the elderberry. I've been putting it as like a jelly, adding gelatin to it and making it a layer on top of our chicken liver pate.
If you like a dry wine that's bubbly, the ciders here are more European in style, meaning they're much cleaner on the palate. These are much more custom-made beverages. You could use them for pairings. Instead of wine, you could use the cider. So we're going to try and achieve that with some of our menu items.
At least 3 or 4 times over the last few years, we've paired up our cheeses in the charcuterie with Hawk Knob. We have one coming out next month. We're going to celebrate some cheeses and some cider.
It really has a much different effect flavor-wise than, say, cooking with a white wine does. I've even done mussels with it. It having a little bit more residual sugar than, say, a Sauvignon Blanc or a Chardonnay does, you're able to get a much cleaner reduction, I think, than you are with wine, as long as you're willing to substitute that and to try something new and creative.
We are going to offer tasting menus, specialty cocktails, maybe some Hawk Knob mimosas, champagne cocktails, things like that.
Not only do I put it in the food, but as the old adage goes, I put it in myself as I'm cooking too. A good secret to any quality meal.
We make everything from scratch here, from the house-made mozzarella to the meatballs and the specialty pizzas. You know, some of them will tie in really nicely with the flavors of Hawk Knob.
Hawk Knob has different flavors that fit all the seasons. You can pair it with food so well. You can, you know, getting off the river, it's nice to have a nice cold cider to just really wind down after spending the day on the river paddling, fishing, whatever you do on the river. But I'm always sharing, you know, libations are generally a sharing adventure, if you will. You know, who knows what's going to happen when everyone's sharing a good drink. I like to say that, you know, there's no such thing as the best, it's the time that you have while drinking something. So your experience can dictate how great that spirit really is. And with Hawk Knob cider, every experience is great.
I think Josh and his team are connectors. They've brought the way of life of Appalachian old style cider, bringing music, bringing events, bringing people together. It's what it used to be like. I'm glad to see it coming back.
It's funny because it's all gone full circle from back when our grandparents were. You know, you wouldn't have to go far to get everything you needed to sustain life. And now it's coming back around where you want to know who raised your chicken, who raised your cow, who made your cider, who made your beer, and it's coming back full circle where it's really just taking care of the community and keeping it all local. To know who made everything that you've got on your table or in your pantry. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, is being able to sit out on the porch at the market and have a glass of cider with a meat and cheese platter, or maybe have a nice burger that you know that hasn't even been on the interstate. And that's why we want to team up with people like Hawk Knob to really showcase what West Virginia is about.
It's really the perfect beverage to have in hand, something that was made right down the road, because I could say, yeah, my buddies made this, is priceless.
If at all possible, I do try to support local business. If you see people in and around your community doing something well, it's important to support that.
That's, you know, them being pioneers in the cider field and mead field also is great for the community and great for West Virginia. I mean, I joke with everybody that I tell about the cider. I'm having that bottle in your hand definitely like balances you out. With 16-ounce balance, you know.
I could tell you about some really good times that I had Hawk Knob, but, you know, quite honestly, I overconsumed and I don't remember much of that night. The day before all these companies started coming in here bringing their products, we were still drinking. Best moonshine comes up from the holler. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about living in a small town or living in Greenbrier County is that everyone does work together. The community pulls together to support local brands, to support local entrepreneurs, because we're proud of just what they're creating. You know, there's a lot of love that goes into these products. It's really good to see your neighbor rise up and just do great things. that a small company can start as a little fledgling operation, go to some competitions, win some awards. People start coming in just to see that product, just to experience what's going on at the source, if you will. If you can take products that are grown here and create a product that's viable to send to another market, it's just a special thing. You know, West Virginia for a long time has just been an outcast state, a resource state. We've had a reputation of being hillbillies, but man, these hillbillies really know what they're doing when it comes to creating drinks, to creating good times. The small town feel it's like coming home. Could be the cider, could be the mead, could be the beer, could be the whiskey. One of these bottles will do you really nicely, but it's better to share, to pour this one bottle into 3, 4, 5 glasses. Then grab another bottle and do the same thing.